Beneath the glossy skin of this deep purple fruit lies a fascinating story of soil, science, sun, and centuries of tradition. From tiny seeds to vibrant harvests, eggplants, also known as aubergines, are more than just a culinary favorite. They're a testament to modern agriculture and ancient farming wisdom.
カモナスです。カモ eggplant. They are getting bigger and bigger.
Fruits causing damage. Fungal diseases like powdery mildew or bacterial wilt can devastate entire fields. To combat these, integrated pest management (IPM) is used. Sticky traps attract flying pests. Neem oil and biological sprays minimize chemical use. Where needed, targeted pesticides are applied following safety protocols. Eggplant flowers, usually light violet with yellow centers, bloom around 40 to 60 days after transplanting. Soon after pollination, tiny purple bulbs start forming. Eggplants are typically ready for harvest 70 to 90 days after transplanting, depending on the variety and climate. Farmers must harvest at just the right stage, when the fruit is glossy, firm, and reaches 10 to 15 centimeters in length. Overripe eggplants become dull, spongy, and bitter. Harvesting is done manually, using sharp secateurs or knives. Each fruit is clipped carefully, leaving a short green stem attached. This reduces bruising and extends shelf life. Harvesters move quickly, placing the fruit in soft-lined crates to avoid damage. A single acre of eggplant field can yield 15 to 30 tons of fruit per season. In large-scale farms, harvesting may happen daily or every 2 to 3 days, especially during peak season. The fruit is sorted immediately based on size: small, medium, jumbo. Shape: round, elongated, oval. Color: deep purple, lavender, white, even striped. Eggplants come in many forms. Common commercial types include Black Beauty, large and glossy; Thai eggplant, small and round, often green; Japanese eggplant, slender and long; graffiti eggplant, purple with white streaks. Once harvested, eggplants are transported to packing centers. The clock is ticking. The sooner they're cooled and packed, the longer they stay fresh. At the center, each eggplant is 1. Washed to remove dirt and residues. 2. Inspected for blemishes or pest damage. 3. Sorted and graded using manual or automated conveyor systems. Eggplants are sensitive to temperature and bruising, so they're cooled to 10 to 12 degrees Celsius, then packed in ventilated cartons or plastic crates. Some are even individually wrapped in foam nets to reduce pressure. In export operations, fruits are labeled with variety, origin, date, and handling instructions. Shelf life can range from 7 to 14 days depending on storage and temperature control. Eggplants are cultivated worldwide, but some regions dominate the industry. Top producers include China, over 60% of global production; India, second largest, especially in the states of West Bengal, Bihar, and Maharashtra; Egypt, Turkey, and the Philippines, significant contributors. Together, the world produces more than 55 million metric tons of eggplants annually. Beyond sheer volume, regional varieties reflect culinary preferences. Asia: stir-fries, curries, grilled dishes; Middle East: baba ganoush, moussaka; Europe: ratatouille, caponata; Americas: eggplant parmesan, grilled steaks. Demand is rising for organic eggplant, greenhouse-grown varieties, and even baby eggplants for gourmet markets. Modern eggplant farming is embracing agritech and sustainability. Innovations include sensor-based irrigation, adjusting water flow based on soil moisture; drone mapping, detecting plant stress and pest hotspots; biodegradable mulch, reducing plastic waste; hydroponic eggplants, grown in nutrient-rich water without soiling. In greenhouses, farmers can grow eggplants year-round, controlling heat, humidity, and light with precision. Yields are up to 3 times higher compared to open fields. Breeders are also developing climate-resilient and pest-resistant cultivars. Some varieties require fewer pesticides while maintaining yield and flavor. Meanwhile, sustainable packaging, cold chain logistics, and fair labor practices are reshaping how eggplants reach consumers. Once packed and shipped, eggplants travel across cities, continents, and cultures. In supermarkets, chefs, and kitchens, the humble eggplant tramps from a glossy harvest to roasted, grilled, fried, or stuffed delights. It's a symbol of versatility. Eggplants absorb flavor, add texture, and pair beautifully with spices and sauces. Beyond food, Eggplant extracts are also explored in cosmetics and pharmaceuticals, thanks to their antioxidants and fiber. For farmers, the eggplant is more than a crop. It's a livelihood. For consumers, it's a delicious tradition. And for the planet, it's a crop that thrives under innovation and care. From seed to soil, from harvest to home, the story of the eggplant is one of resilience, adaptation, and flavor. With every glossy fruit comes months of labor, science, and stewardship. And the next time you slice into an aubergine, roast it golden, or savor it in a dish passed down through generations, remember the journey it took to reach your table. Because behind every eggplant lies a story worth telling. Every morning, millions of people twist open a bottle of cherry juice, drawn in by its deep red hue, its tart sweetness, and the promise of health in every sip. But how many ever stop to wonder, where does this juice actually come from? How does a delicate fruit, soft, seasonal, and easily bruised, survive the journey from orchard to bottle without losing its taste, color, or nutrients? This isn't just fruit in a bottle, it's a marvel of timing, temperature, and technology. A race against the clock, where every hour counts. From mechanical tree shakers that can harvest 7,000 cherries in under a minute, to cold press machines that squeeze out liquid gold without crushing the nutrients, from sterile bottling lines moving at 200 bottles per minute, to sustainability systems that turn leftover cherry pits into renewable fuel. And it all begins with a single cherry. Each cherry tree takes years to mature. Farmers invest 3 to 5 seasons before a single fruit is harvested. And once the blooms appear in April or May, everything depends on timing and weather. Too much rain, and the cherries can split before they ripen. Too much sun, and the fruit loses its tart edge. A single late frost can wipe out an entire year's crop. That's why growers monitor every detail, using sensors to measure soil moisture, flying drones to track canopy growth, and sometimes even setting up wind machines to keep cold air away from vulnerable blossoms. Once the cherries hit peak ripeness, there's no time to waste. Harvesting sour cherries for juice is a race against the clock, and nature doesn't offer second chances. Within just a few days, cherries can go from perfect to spoiled. Timing, coordination, and technology all have to align. Unlike sweet cherries, which are often hand-picked to protect their delicate skin, sour cherries used for juice are harvested using machines. These mechanical tree shakers are marvels of efficiency. They grip the tree trunk, deliver a precise burst of vibration, and within seconds, thousands of cherries drop into fabric-covered catch frames spread beneath the trees. The process is fast, clean, and surprisingly gentle. A single shaker can harvest one tree in under 10 seconds. That speed matters, especially when entire orchards, sometimes hundreds of acres, need to be harvested within a few days. Crews often work long hours, starting before sunrise and finishing after dark, just to stay ahead of the ripening curve. The cherries, once shaken loose, are immediately funneled into large bins filled with chilled water. This isn't just for transport, it's hydrocooling, a critical step to lower the temperature of the fruit and slow down enzymatic decay. Within minutes of hitting the bin, the cherries are already beginning their preservation journey. From there, refrigerated trucks are loaded and dispatched quickly. Most cherry juice operations are designed to get fruit from orchard to factory within 12 to 24 hours. Any longer, and the quality begins to decline. Not just in flavor, but in nutritional value too. Each truckload is tipped into massive stainless steel hoppers, where the cherries begin their transition from raw produce to refined ingredient. The fruit is still chilled from the hydro-cooling process, which helps keep microbial growth to a minimum. But time is still a critical factor. The cherries enter a flume system, a water channel that gently moves them forward while washing away debris. This stage removes dirt, leaves, twigs, and any remaining stems. Jets of clean water spray the fruit at high pressure, ensuring surface contaminants are eliminated. But the real precision begins with sorting. As the cherries move down a conveyor belt, they pass through an optical sorting system. This high-speed equipment uses cameras and sensors to analyze color, shape, and size. Cherries that are too dark, too pale, misshapen, or bruised are automatically diverted out of the line with bursts of air. The goal is consistency. Only ripe, plump, and uniformly colored cherries make it through. Quality in, quality out. After optical sorting, the remaining cherries are inspected manually. Skilled workers stand along the belt, trained to catch what machines might miss, like small signs of mold or fruit that looks perfect on the outside but has internal damage. This combination of machine precision and human judgment ensures that only the highest quality cherries continue to the next phase, pitting. The fruit is now clean, sorted, and ready to reveal what really matters, the juicy, ruby red flesh inside. Cherry pits are hard, fibrous, and completely inedible. They contain small amounts of amygdalin, a naturally occurring compound that in large amounts can be toxic. More importantly, they're a physical hazard. No cherry juice can be extracted until the pits are removed. Modern pitting machines are built for both speed and accuracy. Each cherry is aligned into a small cradle that positions it perfectly. Then, a stainless steel rod punches through the center, pushing the pit out one end and leaving the soft fruit mostly intact. It's a delicate balance. Apply too little pressure, and the pit remains lodged inside. Too much force, and the fruit gets crushed, losing juice prematurely. What remains after pitting is pure cherry flesh, plump, seedless, and ready for pressing. By this point, the fruit has traveled just a few hours from the tree, but has already passed through a gauntlet of sorting, cleaning, and precision cutting. Everything up to now has been about preparing the fruit. What comes next is all about extracting the juice in a way that preserves everything people love about cherries: the color, the flavor, and the nutrients. To deliver a clean, shelf-stable product, the juice must go through filtration. The first step is coarse filtration. The juice passes through a series of mesh screens and gravity-fed separators to remove large particles, bits of skin, leftover pulp, and any stray fibers that slip through during pressing. This clears out the bulk of the debris without affecting the flavor. Next comes centrifugal clarification. Using high-speed centrifuges, the juice is spun at thousands of revolutions per minute. The spinning motion forces denser particles to the outside of the chamber, where they're collected and removed. What remains is a significantly clearer liquid, with a smoother texture and more consistent color. Once the juice has been filtered and pasteurized, it's ready for the final step: bottling. This is where science meets precision, and where everything that's been carefully protected, from the orchard to the press, must now be sealed without compromise. First, the juice is transferred to aseptic storage tanks, kept under tightly controlled temperatures and oxygen-free conditions. Oxygen is the enemy at this point. It can dull the flavor, fade the color, and shorten shelf life. Every aspect of the bottling environment is designed to minimize exposure to air, bacteria, and temperature fluctuations. Bottles, whether glass or food-grade PET plastic, are prepared in parallel. Before filling, they're sanitized using steam, UV light, or filtered water rinses. This ensures that no foreign particles or microbes are introduced during the filling process. The bottling line itself is a marvel of modern automation. Filling machines dispense exact volumes of juice into each bottle, accurate down to a fraction of a milliliter. In some facilities, this process happens at speeds of up to 300 bottles per minute. Immediately after filling, bottles are sealed, either with vacuum caps, heat-sealed foil, or tamper-evident lids, depending on the brand's packaging design. This seal locks in freshness and ensures the juice remains shelf-stable for weeks or even months. Each bottle is then labeled with essential information: ingredients, nutrition facts, origin, best by date, and a traceable batch code. This code allows producers to track every bottle back to its source orchard and processing batch, a critical step for both quality assurance and food safety compliance. But before the juice hits the shelves, there's one more line of defense: quality control. Random samples are pulled from the line for lab testing. Technicians check for sugar content, pH, microbial stability, and color consistency. If anything is outside the strict parameters, the entire batch is flagged and held for investigation. Once cleared, the bottles are packed into crates, shrink-wrapped, and loaded onto pallets. From there, they're either stored in refrigerated warehouses or sent directly to distributors and retailers around the world. By the time you see a bottle of cherry juice on the shelf, it's already traveled through a meticulous, multi-stage process, one designed to preserve not just taste, but trust. Every drop represents the combined efforts of farmers, engineers, food scientists, and operators, all working together to ensure the final product meets the highest possible standard. Cherry juice may seem simple at first glance: a refreshing drink, a daily health ritual, a splash of red in your morning routine. It's a journey of transformation, one that turns something fragile and seasonal into something powerful and lasting. If you enjoyed discovering how cherry juice is made, from farm to factory, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment with your favorite part, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes looks into how the foods you love are created. New episodes every week, so hit the notification bell to never miss a drop. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.